Switzerland, an island of peace and prosperity in the world. They are famous for their honesty and openness, regardless of what any other country does. Did you carry out a genocide, or are you expanding around the world? Then welcome to Switzerland. A good country raises the same kind people, and today we will talk about Henri Dunant, the creator of one of the largest organizations, namely the International Red Cross movement. What do we know about the Red Cross? It is an international humanitarian movement founded in 1863 with staff and volunteers throughout the world. Until the mid-19th century, there was no effective system for providing treatment to wounded soldiers in battle. Back then, as a Swiss businessman, Henri Dunant came to Italy to meet with the French Emperor Napoleon III and discuss with him the difficulties of doing business in Algeria. In the evening he arrives in the town of Solferino, where he witnessed a battle during which many soldiers on each side were killed and wounded. Henri Dunant was shocked by the consequences of the battle and the lack of basic medical care for the wounded. He completely abandoned the original purpose of his journey and devoted himself for several days to the treatment and care of the wounded. Returning home to Geneva, he decided to write a book which he published at his own expense called Memories of Solferino. He sent several copies of the book to all the emperors of Europe. In addition to publishing the book, Dunant advocated for the creation of national voluntary organizations that would help wounded soldiers during the war. In addition, he called for the signing of international treaties that would guarantee the safety of neutral doctors and hospitals for the wounded on the battlefield. Then, on February 9, 1863, in Geneva, Henri Dunant founded the Committee of Five, later renamed to the Red Cross. They took their symbols from the flag of Switzerland itself. Original, isn't it? The Swiss government was very interested in the idea and, in order to improve its diplomatic relations, invited the governments of all European countries as well as the USA, Brazil, and Mexico to an official diplomatic conference. During this conference, the First Geneva Convention was signed, which stated that all countries had to recognize the Red Cross and help them improve conditions for the wounded and doctors. But Henri Dunant was forced to declare bankruptcy due to the failure of his business in Algeria, the reason for which was partly his tireless work in the International Committee. Failures and conflict with the Gustave Monnier led to Dunant's removal from the post of the secretary of the committee and his deprivation of membership. Dunant was also accused of false bankruptcy. A warrant was issued for his arrest, so he was forced to leave his hometown, to which he never returned. This is quite a tragic story. However, the movement continued to grow, and in subsequent years, the Red Cross was formed in almost all European countries. Eventually, Dunant's efforts were not forgotten, and then, in 1901, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded for the first time, with the Nobel Committee deciding to give it jointly to Henri Dunant as the most prominent pacifist. An important event, in addition to the honor of being awarded the Nobel Prize, was the official congratulations from the International Committee, the Red Cross, which meant the rehabilitation of Henri Dunant and recognition of the outstanding role he played in the formation of the Red Cross. Dunant died 9 years later in the small Swiss resort town of Haydn. His contribution will forever be etched in human history. Well, as for the organization itself, the Great War has just begun in the backyard. With the outbreak of the World War I, the Red Cross encountered extraordinary difficulties, which it only managed to solve with the assistance of national societies. Red Cross workers from all over the world came to the aid and provided medical services in several European countries. By the end of the war, the agency had sent more than 20 million letters, messages, and broadcasts, collecting donations amounting to 18 million Swiss francs. With the assistance of the agency, almost everyone was able to return home safely as a result of the prisoner exchange. Interesting fact, during the war, the card index of everyone whom the agency helped during the war greatly exceeded the population of all Switzerland, an invaluable contribution to preserving the lives of people from both sides of the Entente and the Central Powers. For its fruitful work during the war, the International Committee of the Red Cross was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1917. The committee also helped in developing laws for the League of Nations to ban gas and chemical weapons. What a great organization it is! Does Adolf agree with this? What? Are you saying that you want to organize mass persecution, genocide of the Jews, and to create special camps for this? Yeah. Fine. Then just for the show, can we at least check out the camps? What a nice place, both a spa and a solarium. Great. And this is all true. At the time of the occupation of Poland, the Red Cross almost did not react in any way to all the horror that Germany was doing. But they did note the wonderful manicure of the SS men. Oddly enough, in 1944, the Red Cross received their second Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, they saved many lives during the war, but they could have saved even more if they had not turned a blind eye to all the horrors in the Nazi concentration camps. This was a sacrifice for the sake of preserving the status of the organization. And again, a section of interesting facts. Have you noticed that the organization has another name, namely the Red Crescent, in honor of the Muslim symbol? It's because during the Russo-Turkish War of 1876, the Ottoman Empire announced that henceforth it was going to use the image of the Red Crescent on its sanitary convoys, while at the same time respecting the enemy's sanitary convoys designated by the Red Cross, as the Red Cross offended the feelings of Muslims at that time. Back to the main topic. After the end of 2 world wars, the organization had to deal with all the crap that the 2 hegemons arranged. Have you decided to fight in Vietnam? Okay, the Red Cross is just arriving. You haven't divided Afghanistan again? Oh, the Red Cross is right here. During the conference in 2006, it was decided to help communities from both Palestine and Israel, where a new symbol, the red crystal, was invented. Of course, jokes aside, the Red Cross is truly one of the most virtuous organizations. Every day, they risk their lives to save others. If we draw an analogy, they are like your guardian angel, ready to save you at any moment. Today, the Red Cross is actively involved in helping the wounded in the Russo-Ukrainian conflict, where they are actively showing themselves. Perhaps it would be very wonderful if you helped them with your donations. Who knows, even $1 could contribute to saving someone's life. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, and each of your views helps me move on. Thank you.